What's up everyone, welcome to Crypto Maximalist. Before we begin, make sure to hit the like and subscribe and then hit the real subscribe button, which is the bell icon. We're posting 4 videos every day, so make sure to check back every single day. We're aiming for 20k subscribers and get a deal in the description if you haven't already. This is not financial advice. Welcome to Crypto Maximalist. Let's begin. What's up guys, so just before we begin, make sure to hit the subscribe and bell icon. People aren't seeing our content and that's probably because you haven't hit the bell. Thank you again for all your support. We're so proud of the amazing community that we've built. So we're just taking a look at VeChain here and we're basically just still chopping it up inside of this little range that we have formed here. I mean, we've got a little range like this, haven't we? We're all over the place with ranges right now. We've got a range like this, and then we also have the wider range of this whole recent move that we still haven't broken out of, by the way, so it's still a very relevant level. You can see we had our big downtrend when we had the market-wide correction here. We come all the way down, you know, lower lows and lower highs, you get it. We double bottom out down here, almost at the bottom of our macro channel as well, and getting really oversold on the RSI. You can see quite clearly every single time that we have got really oversold on the RSI. This is a big bullish divergence here. You can see that we have got bounces every time. This was also coinciding nicely with the bottom of this channel here, bounce here, and a bounce here. You can see Taylor's oldest time by now. We've actually, you know, started to come back up for VeChain, but we haven't even got back to the middle of the channel yet, really. And it does look as though it has been struggling recently, especially when things were just starting to get underway, really. And then, you know, we had that El Salvador crash where everyone just dumped their Bitcoin on the market. And essentially, you know, dropped the price of every crypto by around 20% on that day. A big correction, which did, you know, hamper the progress of the recovery that we were seeing, because it did look as though we were, you know, essentially about to break out of this range that we have been stuck in ever since that May crash. But, you know, we come back inside of our range here, obviously, because, you know, we basically got rejected from the wider range because of that news. So you can see here, obviously, with the bearish divergences as well, it was probably only a matter of time before we had a correction, but this was a pretty vicious one. We come all the way back down. We wick down to around that 10-cent level. As you can see there, this is around 10 cents. We come back inside the range, this range here, and you can see we've just been chopping it up in and around that range for a good while here, and we've made a smaller range, which is, you know, somewhat adhering to the bottom of this range as well. I mean, you could argue that potentially the range is more like this, and this range is more like this, and then it makes a bit more sense on the eyes. You can see we've got a little smaller range here right now. We're just chopping it up in and around our EMAs, basically trying to figure out, you know, where we want to go to next. We come down to the bottom of the range and we get a bounce every time. But, you know, essentially we're just chopping it sideways right now, aren't we? We're waiting to see what Bitcoin does. Obviously, if Bitcoin does start to pump, it will drag all the cryptocurrencies with it, especially the bigger ones like VeChain, Ethereum, etc. They will start to get dragged up, just like they often do. Meanwhile, we have a lot of other cryptocurrencies that are more smaller altcoins do seem to be moving of their own accord right now, having a bit of an alt season for smart contract platforms, as we've been saying. Obviously, we've got Solana, the most obvious example, but we also have Near, Elrond, Harmony One, Algorand, all these projects essentially basically having a bit of a pump up. So we can see here for VeChain specifically that we're just, you know, we're basically just still chopping it sideways, aren't we? We're still holding support here in and around this previous level. What is this? This is around the 11-cent level, so psychological support as well. And that's essentially where we're at for VeChain. I mean, it's just chopping it sideways. Things have been pretty boring for the past month or so. Waiting for a big move in the market really for Bitcoin or something, so that we can get a clear direction of what's going on, and then we can figure out what's happening. But I mean, you could argue that this is just one big higher high, higher low, and we're ramping up for that higher high, and it does look as though, you know, considering we're at fair value on our RSI, you know, our histogram's looking fairly flat. It looks as though we are just, you know, basically losing a bit of volume here as well over the past few days. It does look as though a big move is probably going to be coming fairly soon, and, you know, we'll take a look at some short-term price predictions to figure out what's going to happen if we move to either direction. So if we move to the downside here, we've obviously got a swing low here at around, what is this, 10.5 cents, and obviously that very strong psychological 10-cent support. And we would expect this to hold, considering, you know, how big of a psychological support that is now. Support here flipped into resistance and then back into support. You can see it all the way across, really, really bullish. And, you know, you could say that this was the higher high, and then we come back down for that higher low, and then we get that higher high, and we really get back underway. For the bull market, things looking essentially, you know, pretty damn good from what we can tell. And you know, we do think that that $10 level is that 10-cent level, sorry, is probably going to hold pretty damn well from what we can tell. It's a very, very strong psychological number, and it seems likely, in our opinion, that we're probably going to see, you know, VeChain getting a bounce pretty soon, considering how well it's holding this support here. We just keep holding this support, don't we? Bouncing in and around that 55, and then price targets to the upside. You want to see ourselves reclaiming that 55 moving average, and then obviously we've got the 20 moving average here at around 12 cents. And then we're coming up towards those previous price targets, 14 cents and then 15.5 cents up here. And then overall, you know, for the end of the bull market, we still believe 50 cents to $1 for VeChain. Very realistic price target, around a 5 to 10x from the current price. That's it, guys. We'd like to thank everyone so much for their support. If you've got any questions or suggestions, please leave them down below. And don't forget to subscribe and then hit the real subscribe button, which is the bell icon, to stay up to date with the 4 videos that we post every single day. Remember, if you want to support the channel more directly and get a ton of benefits and insight, as well as joining our growing community, consider the Patreon or YouTube membership down below. You can also sign up to our free Telegram via the description as well. All the links are in the description for affiliate links for discounts and free crypto, so go check them all out below. There's plenty of goodness on offer. Please like and subscribe. We are Crypto Maximalists.